Call the meeting back to order. And we are on item 8.3, the quality management plan for the town of High Prairie Gas Utility. Get the motion, Councillor Shisha.
I make the motion that council approve the quality management plan, town of High Prairie Gas Utility, and authorize the mayor and CAO to submit the approved plan to the province.
Okay, thank you for that. And see, Vern is here to tell us a little bit more about it. I'll turn it over to you.
It's basically, it's the exact same document, pretty much as what was there last year. We have to adopt it annually as part of our approvals to operate the gas system. You're gonna see it every year, this time of the year for many years to come.
All right, any questions or comments on this? Councillor Wakel to start.
Is it something that could be approved like for 5 years, or does it have to be annually in case they change the rules?
It has to be adopted annually.
Good, thanks.
All right. Any other comments, questions? I guess my question, are we meeting the plan?
Yes, and we just went through our gas utility audit from the Federation last summer, and we are meeting everything that's required.
And I know I asked before, and I know we were supposed to be getting the gas line checked, the line into town.
Yes, it will be done first thing in April. They assured us they're coming back. They could not do the actual testing on it because it wasn't the moisture in the ground to supply good continuity to the pipe.
Well, they're gonna do it early in the year and hope that we have some moisture in the ground.
Yes.
Now that you bring that up, I had some gentleman come around our neighborhood, and he said that he was testing the gas line.
Okay.
Two different things. One's a leak detection survey, and this is a quality assurance on the main transmission line. That's what the $40,000 was for. Two different issues.
So this gentleman that said that he said he was testing the gas line leaks or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that done on an annual basis also?
Yes. Usually every November, early December. Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. We have a motion to adopt the plan. All in favor? It is carried.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you for the cake.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for getting over.
I'm just gonna get over the line of fire.
Yeah. The next one is item 8.4, the old hospital site. I will start this off by making a motion that the town council directs administration to write a I could call it an article explaining the council's decision around the old hospital site. Now, I'll explain that a little bit in that we all know, well, I shouldn't say we all know, that it's been reported that the land, the old hospital land sold for $1.75 million. We also know that we were given the opportunity to purchase it. We decided not to purchase it. All of our discussions and rationale that was talked about at the time was done in a closed session. But I think the public has a right to know what our rationale and our thinking was. And it should be should be gotten out there to say, this is what we were thinking. I mean, it looks really bad, that we didn't take it, and, we've been able to flip it for, $1.5 million. That would have been fantastic. And, from my perspective, hindsight is always much better than, than before. But at the time and with the information that we had, council made a decision, and, if we look back, it would have been perhaps not the right decision, knowing what we know now. But I think we need to get that information out to the public and, at least let them know why the decision was made the way we did. Because there was some good rationale to it. It's, it's obvious now that it wasn't if we knew the land was gonna sell and that the land would have sold this quick and it was gonna sell for that much, not a problem. But I don't think anybody was thinking that it was going to sell for that amount. And, we were looking at the land and going, and we got land on the east side of town, we got land on the west side of town, and none of that was being sold. So that was a big issue there. Why would this one sell more other than it was in town? So anyway, there was lots of those rationales that I think we should write it up and get something out to explain our rationale. Questions, comments on that? Councillor Stenhouse?
I just want to comment also, we don't have a crystal ball. And I think that's what is grabbing everyone's attention is the price tag that it's sold for. If we had that crystal ball, that would have told us, because just by talking to people that didn't know about it, I asked them to guess, and they all guessed way below the asking price. So putting out this letter, yes, it will clear up a lot of misconceptions or rumors or whatever you want to call it, how this went down.
Councillor Winkle?
Yeah, I agree. The first time, at least that I remember hearing a solid number was that first week of September. And that's when we decided to make the offer, which was immediately refused. But there were, like Councillor Stenhouse said, there was so many questions. We didn't know about the condition of the land. We didn't know about the condition of the culvert that goes through there. It's 3/4 full of mud, silt, and dead cats. How much is that going to cost? We couldn't get a straight answer from anybody on a lot of this stuff. And we're trying to do our due diligence, and then we got kicked in the nads. So, yeah, I'm all in favor of getting this information out there.
Where do you plan on putting this letter?
Well, I think we can post it on our website. I think we could post it on our town's Facebook page. Perhaps we should put it into the newspaper next week.
But yeah, I think it's critical that it goes into the newspaper, not just as a letter, but like you said, as an article, as a piece. They're taking great pride in putting that number on the front. This is what they could have had it for, and this is what it sold for. Absolutely. Right? So, maybe a chance to sit down. It's too bad Chris isn't here. Maybe the administration has a chance to sit down with Chris and present the article as written. I think if it's going to go into the paper, it almost has to go in as a letter. It has to go in, I think, tomorrow. So I don't imagine administration will get it written that fast. I want this. When we do this, I want it complete. Maybe let the paper know that, hey, we're going to submit something that's going to explain council's rationale. Just to give them the heads up.
All right. Yep.
Recommendation for council is, if it goes in the paper, we put it in as a paid advertisement. Otherwise, the letter may be edited.
You can make clear that it's not to be edited. I've done that before. And then they wanted to edit stuff and I'm like, well, no, it didn't run. So it can be made clear that there's to be no editing. If they wanted it, and then if they say it's got to be a paid advertisement, then, pay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, two people, Councillor Yashishin and then Councillor Martins.
Yeah, I was just gonna add only is that, you know, and it's already been said, it's easy to look at it now and hear, I mean, nobody envisioned that it would suffer that much. You know, and it could have gone the other way, and then it could have been a burden to taxpayers as well. So I think that's an important fact is that, you know, when you don't know, I mean, there was much discussion on it, granted, absolutely. But when you don't know where it's gonna go, there has to be, I'm just gonna leave it at that. There has to be that caution and, with taxpayers' dollars, that's significant.
And on the, oh, sorry, Councillor Martins, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm glad that, my comment was you could use to get a toy as a statement and the statement presents its entirety or a plaintiff. So just basically out of context, I think Jane said something similar. Number one, number two, nothing statements that's for the public. I would like to know, I can send out an email to council, I don't think I got a response. I don't know, I remember the dollar offer that wasn't accepted, but I certainly don't know when we, it's reported as April, but I don't know when it is that we, turned down the 148, 149 offer. And again, I remember picking back up recently, but, I too would like to see the timeline of facts as we have it on our records. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I think the timeline was shared, was it not? Yeah.
I can't recall, I don't believe I was copied on that email, but, I'll check, see if I was, and if I was, I'll put together the timeline, but I don't recall receiving that email.
Okay, anyway, yeah, we'll look at it, but
I was just responding, I hit reply all, and I think it was, I don't know who sent it out, but I took out, oh yeah, I sent it out to all the council, I'm not sure if Bill was on it or not. And you should have it.
all right, I was just gonna comment on the real plus side of things is, you know, it's great to see somebody buying it and investing that much in our community. You know, if they're investing that much money, they're hoping to put something significant in the community. So that is really good news in the long run for our community. We should have a really should help our tax base and give our town something more that we'll be able to enjoy in the future. All right, so we had the motion to direct administration to write the letter. All in favor? Carried. Moving on then to item 13, our CAO's report for action list. Can I get a motion on this? Let's see. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Simmons.
The council received CAO Bill McKinnon's report and action list for information.
All right, thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to our CAO to highlight anything or bring up anything new to put on.
Through the chair, I'd just like to reassure council that the issue for having the EAs and IT services that are actively being pursued, hopefully we'll get a resolution very shortly. The again, I have in my report, noting the question Councilor Yeakel had about requirement to provide all federal agreements between the town and the feds to the provincial red tape reduction initiative / committee that's reviewing intermunicipal and interprovincial relationships with the federal government. The other one that will be coming back in various forms is the review of a potential establishment of a regional emergency management structure. Numerous communities in the province have regional emergency management teams. For instance, in Grand Prairie area, you have the city, the county, municipalities of Wembley, Heist doesn't exist anymore, but Heist was a former member, Beaver Lodge, Sexsmith, and one other that's escaping. Anyways, basically what it does is it acts as a regional resource, and it maximizes the availability of staff available for any type of emergency management activity. That group would be charged of setting up the protocols in relation to an emergency management committee, but a rep from the province and our working group will be coming back to each of the individual councils with a pro forma. They will explain to council what are the benefits and pitfalls, which there aren't any, of this municipal engagement. So it works very good. It maximizes resources, and you have a dedicated coordinator that would look after that. Between all those communities right now, there's more than one FTE tasked with it, especially the smaller communities such as ourselves. Traditionally, these items are tasked to the fire chief, which makes it very difficult if you have an emergency management team and the chief's supposed to be on site doing incident response. You can't do both roles. So that's the benefit of this regional model. And there's various degrees of authorities the regional model may have. So stay tuned. We're meeting again in mid-February, and sometime after that, likely April, there will be presentations to each of the respective councils. And what I mean by the respective councils, at a minimum, that would be the town of Slave Lake, Lesser Slave Lake, the town of High Prairie, town of Swan Hills, and Big Lakes County. So that concludes my report.
All right, any questions or comments? Councilor Yeakel?
Last meeting there, I'd asked that letter be drafted to go to the gas companies, asking them WTF. Just sort of as an amendment to that, can I ask that that be forwarded to communities a couple hundred kilometers west? So they have the opportunity to ask the same question. I say this because I had the opportunity to put some fuel in my vehicle in Valley View on the weekend, and I had to leave one of my kids behind to do that because it was more expensive than it is here. It's $1.50 there. It's just ridiculous. So if that could be forwarded to other councils to have the opportunity to send that on to the gas companies, that would be awesome.
From an administrative perspective, that's a manageable request.
All right, anything else?
I just want some clarity. I'm not sure if I understand. So your very first bulletin, so are we looking to recoup some money there from that provincial disaster recovery program? Is that what that's saying?
That's correct. In terms of the fire expenses, we recovered approximately $225,000. There's additional monies related to assistance we provided at the reception centers, but that's a much more modest number, probably in the $30,000 to $40,000 range.
Just out of curiosity, is that just the town expenses? I'm just asking Like would FCSS recuperation be in that, or is that an entity all of their
Big
own?
Lakes would be making the claim on behalf of their departments and agencies.
Okay,
So this is just town.
this is just town. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Councilor Lyons?
So I see that the DRP that the lagoons mentioned, how's the lagoon involved in the, I guess how's the lagoon involved?
Lagoon is, been outstanding for the last couple of years, so that is another DRP claim that we're wrapping up to receive the monies. So that relates to an incident probably 3 or 4 years ago, I would say 4 years ago. And, the repairs have been undertaken. Now it's just a matter of recouping the monies from the province. They have approved everything, it's just a matter of submitting the final claim.
Awesome, thank you. I know you opened with something about our emails, and I read your emails from later in the day though. I don't know if it's the same issue, but I have that issue that none of my emails, they come back undeliverable if I drop from my high priority account. So if I go to, is that YouTube billing, or the mayor's nodding, is that, okay, so it's everybody, not just me. Okay, all right, cool. It's just been 4 months, and I don't know about this, because I remember talking to this IT company in September, and, so as long as it's not just me.
Yeah, I've had the same issue, and you can deliver, your emails go through in-house, like if it's going in, but as soon as you try to go to an external email, it's undeliverable, and I've been told by them, like I submitted this when it first happened, they said, well, it's an issue with Microsoft, but I know there are a few people in the town that aren't having any issues with sending out of their email account. So it's all going out of the town's email. Some are having no issues and other ones aren't. So I'm not sure why. And, personally, it just seems odd that it's a Microsoft issue, that they're working on a glitch and trying to get that fixed, is what the IT provider said.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same issue, actually. I was talking to the mayor, and he asked me, I think it's working, and then I tried sending something, to my personal email, and it bounced back.
Because I know the spam email has really slowed down and stalled, and it started back up again.
We will undertake to get that issue resolved, and, when we deal with the capital budget, you'll see there's monies in the capital budget to address a series of other potential issues that haven't been addressed for a number of years.
Okay, seeing nothing else as issues around the table, I will call for the vote to receive the report for information. All in favor? Carried. Moving on then to council correspondence, item 14.1. We got an email from the legislative health advisory council. I'm going to make a motion on this one. Okay.
Receive for information.
All right. It always goes out to anybody if you wanted to attend your vote there. Any other comments on that? All in favor? Carried. Moving on to the Big Lakes County invitation. Motion on Councilor Stenhouse?
That, council approve any member of council to attend the RMA as a guest for Big Lakes County from March 18th to 20th.
Or do you want to leave that?
Well, yeah, we can, the invitation, I think one you says
Right.
any member. It said any member and it's a member, not any member or all members, it's just one. And the invitation is also there for the CAO to attend also. But that would be my other, A and. Okay, with that, I'll maybe ask if there's anybody able and wishing to attend. Councillor Dunn, was that your hand up or? Edmonton.
Edmonton Convention Center.
No one else is interested. All right.
I can be his backup if he doesn't.
Okay, so there we go. We've got one and an alternate. We're good with that, so perhaps the motion can be reworded to say we'll approve Councillor Dunn and as an alternate, Councillor Stenhouse. Would you approve that amendment, just so it's clear on who's gonna go
Well, no, so we have
and the CA?
to see it.
If he's able to attend. All right. All in favor? Carried. Moving on then to the written and verbal reports. Start with birthday girl. No report. All right, Councillor Dunn. I have no report. Councillor Martins.
So I attended the board of directors meeting for the Western Canadian Watershed Council. They reported that, they reported the lake levels between November and today, or January, and, 5.7, 5.91 meters in November, now 5.7, 5.99 meters, so slight decrease. So I put those numbers in reverse. It was 0.99 in November, 0.91 now, so it's negligible, but slightly lower. The big thing there isn't that, it's the rear elevation that they're going to pursue how that can be changed. The other things are that they presented the president's report and the projects and project updates, the administration and various other things. I mentioned this in the last council meeting that the drought resiliency workshop that is coming up at the end of this month, and I will be attending that on the 31st. One other thing is that the kids can catch events in February, and I think the flyer was sent out. Those were my Lester Slave Lake updates. With that, I'll move my report. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or I'll move my report for information.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments for Councillor Martins? All in favor? Carried. As for my report, I attended a couple of meetings. One of them was a meeting with the Department of Transportation. This was set up through ANCA. And the big push was to, see highways in our region improved. And, a lot of talk about this is where the resources are coming from. This is where the revenues for a good part of the province are generated from. And yet the money's not going into these highways that are getting used for the, extraction of our natural resources, oil and timber, that kind of thing. So they kind of got the message, and it was, I'm going to say, at the department level was a lot of these. I did ask specifically about the highway overlay that they're supposed to be doing through High Prairie and what was happening with that. The fella that was representing this area is new to his position, so he wasn't really aware and did not have an answer for me at that time, but he was supposed to be finding out and getting back to me, so hopefully we'll get something in the next little while on the status of that project. The other meeting that I attended was the Heart River Housing Board meeting. Not much to report there other than they're sort of looking at the future. And I mean, right now they've got the Blair project is started. It's going really well. The crews worked through the -40 weather. They got stuff being put up. The walls are coming up. So that's a good thing. They're ahead of schedule even with the cold weather. And so the next thing was looking forward to what's after that. And there's a lot of discussion and looking at what the needs in Valley View are for a place there. So that's a lot of that was the discussions, and there's set up they've done some needs assessments for the Valley View area. They're going to meet with the Sturgeon Lake First Nation community and then sort of come up with a plan for that site, and then start to see if we can make that plan a reality. There's a good chance the Valley View School is getting a new school, and if we build a new building on site similar to what we have here, it would be built on the school land. The school has said that they would let the Heart River Housing have the land for a project like that. So that's sort of the plan moving ahead. So with that, I'll move my report for information. But I'll take any questions first. Councillor Stenhouse?
So, the transportation fellow, any chance he was the same one that we talked to at the UMA, or is he in a permanent position now?
I don't know who you talked to at AUMA. This fella is sort of the regional fella based out of Peace River. And he just started in December. So he wasn't the one that you talked to at Alberta Municipalities. He was tied in, and he was with transportation before, but he was more tied to the contracts for the highway maintenance is what he worked on a lot before.
So did he come to Slave Lake, or did you guys go to Peace River?
Online.
I was hoping you'd say you drove the road, but. Okay.
It was online.
Thanks.
All right, all in favor? All Councillor Stenhouse,
I have no report.
Councillor Wakefield.
No real report, just wanna thank the town for getting the Wi-Fi into the Sports Palace there. It has increased the, watchability of our hockey games online. We get hundreds of people watching online, grandmas and moms and dads that are a long ways away. And it's allowed, technical producer James Backcroft to punch up the broadcast quite a bit and add some graphic things to the broadcast, and so it's much appreciated. It's only going to make the Sports Palace more desirable for tournaments and whatnot going forward. So it was a good investment. It's appreciated. That's not really much of a report. I'll move it for information if anybody's got a question.
Okay, anything for Councillor Wakefield? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, and Councillor Yashishin.
No report, but just want to, send out a big thank you to all the town staff that worked through the -40, -41 weather that we had and, kept the town running.
Thank you for that. And
I just provide one piece of information for councillors. I know it's been posted on our website and Facebook, but just in case, for the next week, there will be snow clearing on all the town streets, given the expected mild weather the week after. So that will be being undertaken over the next week.
all right,
Is there a map that we can say on Tuesday we're gonna be here, Wednesday we're gonna be here, or is it just don't park on the street?
There is no scheduling by street, but the staff will be following the snow clearance protocol, which I can't remember what goes first. I